From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
The Library of Congress was established by an act of Congress in 1800 when our nation's capital was moved from Philadelphia to Washington, D.C. In August of 1814, the Capitol building, which housed the library, was burned by British troops during the War of 1812, and the library's core collection of 3,000 volumes was lost. Within a month, Thomas Jefferson offered his personal library as a replacement. Congress accepted and paid nearly $24,000 for 6,487 books, which more than doubled the size of the original collection. The library's collections have continued to grow. Librarian of Congress Ainsworth Rand Spofford promoted the passage of the Copyright Law of 1870, which required all copyright applicants to send the library 2 copies of their work. The library is still the home of the U.S. Copyright Office, and the majority of items in the Library of Congress's collections are received through the copyright registration process. In 1873, plans began for a new building. In 1886, the plans were approved, and what is now called the Thomas Jefferson Building opened in November 1897. The library now occupies 3 buildings on Capitol Hill: the original building, now called the Jefferson Building, the John Adams Building, built in 1938, and the James Madison Memorial Building, which was completed in 1981. The Library of Congress is the largest federal cultural institution. It houses more than 150 million items. More than 36 million of these are catalog books and other printed materials, representing more than 470 languages. Many people think that the library contains mostly books, and it does have many books. However, the library also houses vast collections of other items, such as maps, sheet music, photographs and prints, sound recordings, motion pictures, and manuscripts. The manuscripts total nearly 70 million and include original copies of some of the greatest handwritten treasures of American history and culture. Among these are Thomas Jefferson's original rough draft of the Declaration of Independence, George Washington's first inaugural address, and Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. The library has more than 20 reading rooms, 850 miles of bookshelves, 3 million recordings, and 6 million pieces of sheet music. The collections are constantly growing. The library receives about 15,000 items a day, and about 12,000 items are added to the collections each day. That's more than 2 million items a year. Items not selected for the collections or other internal purposes are used in the library's national and international exchange programs. When its doors opened to the public in 1897, the Library of Congress represented an unparalleled national achievement, the largest, costliest, and safest library in the world. Its elaborately decorated interior, embellished by works of art from nearly 50 American painters and sculptors, linked the United States to classical traditions of learning and simultaneously flexed American cultural and technological muscle. This view of the Great Hall is from the second floor south corridor and shows the elaborate ceiling and floor designs. This is a view of the main reading room in the Thomas Jefferson Building. Anyone 16 or older and with a photo ID can register as a reader and access materials from the Library of Congress on site. The Library of Congress is grand and inspiring, but you don't have to go there to search the treasures of the institution. The library's website offers millions of digitized items, all for free and without registration.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.
siamo a Disneyland. A Disneyland, no, molto meglio. Siamo alla British Library. Magna Carta la cui copia è originale, diciamo, è contenuta qui nella biblioteca assieme a alcuni originali dei manoscritti di Shakespeare, al codice sinaitico e alla Bibbia di Gutenberg. Praticamente mi hanno detto che posso fare il video dell'edificio, che di fatto è una libreria dove persone vengono a studiare, a leggere, a fare ricerche, però non si può fare un video delle esibizioni, chiaramente, delle mostre. Vabbè, me l'aspettavo, ma mi accontento dell'edificio perché c'è tanto da riprendere qui. È un edificio enorme, immenso, così immenso che praticamente ti danno la cartina per visitarlo. I reperti che sono qui esposti, che non è possibile fotografare, sono ovviamente disponibili sul sito web online, possono essere visualizzati anche per chi insomma non avesse la possibilità di essere qui, e magari si vedono anche meglio perché nell'aula dove sono esposti praticamente per evitare che si rovinino, cioè praticamente buio, non si legge niente. Questa è la lettura, reading room. Ci troviamo qui, tutti col MacBook, mi raccomando. Dietro questa porta c'è il paradiso, ma purtroppo il paradiso ha bisogno di una chiave, che è il Reading Pass, che chiaramente non abbiamo, che non vivo a Londra. E per avere il Reading Pass, tra l'altro, per consultare i manoscritti antichi che ci sono qui dentro, c'è bisogno di una valida ragione, insomma, bisogna avere delle motivazioni di ricerca, di studio, c'è bisogno presentare un piano all'ingresso della biblioteca per poter poi ottenere appunto il pass che ti consente di entrare. No? Non è sufficiente abitare a Londra o abitare in Inghilterra per poter entrare qui, perché comunque sono tutti manoscritti antichi. No, di gente che fa ricerca, insomma, ne vedo tanti. E invece qua è certo, è sicuro che la maggior parte delle persone che sono sedute qui a lavorare, a studiare, a scrivere, a fare ricerca sono qua certamente persone che lavorano nell'ambito umanistico, dove io darei un rene per poter lavorare allo stato attuale, e sicuramente non escludo, anzi sono quasi sicura che vi siano scrittori, perché la maggior parte degli scrittori viene proprio qui per fare ricerche, per consultare i libri antichi. Quindi è decisamente un posto stupendo.
I'm Peg Breen from the New York Landmarks Conservancy. We're at the New York Public Library on 42nd and 5th for another tourist in your own town excursion. Architects Carrere and Hastings created a Beaux-Arts masterpiece, hailed as one of the most beautiful buildings in the country. The lions guarding the entrance are two of the best-known and most beloved statues in New York. The ascending steps create a processional entryway. The facade is rich in ornamental detail, elaborate statuary, Corinthian columns, monumental arches, carved keystones, and intricately molded bronze doors. The beauty, rich materials, and detailing continue inside. Astor Hall, the main lobby, is over 70 feet long, with a vault some 37 feet overhead, all of marble. Grand staircases rise on either side. Given the opulence of the building, there's a moving inscription describing the building's purpose. The library is a gift from the city to be maintained as a free library for the people. An inscription on the floor states that a Lithuanian immigrant was so grateful to the library, he left it his estate so that others could continue to benefit. Off the lobby, Gottesman Hall is regularly used for exhibitions. The carved wood ceiling is an exhibition in itself. Octagonal panels contained winged figures, cherubs, satyr masks, fruit garlands, and foliage. On the north side of the lobby, the glorious Lionel Pincus and Princess Furial map division allows the public to view some of the 420,000 maps and atlases in the library's collection. It's the most used public map division in the world. The DeWitt Wallace Periodical Room on the lobby's south side contains wonderful murals of buildings that once housed New York book, magazine, and newspaper publishers, including the long-lost Newspaper Row that once faced City Hall. The third floor contains even more riches. The barrel-vaulted McGraw Rotunda features bold murals by Edward Lanning of mythical and biblical scenes. For more art, the Edna Barnes Solomon Room contains early portraiture, much of it from the collection of the Lenox Library, which was absorbed into the present library. The third-floor hallways also feature rotating exhibitions of the library's material. All this leads finally to the Rose Reading Room, a vast column-free space with monumental windows. The painted ceiling of sky and clouds adds to the sense of openness. From the giant chandeliers, to the city seal carved on table pedestals, to bronze railings along elevated walkways, to enriched moldings. The message is that books, learning, and people are important. There's so much to admire and absorb here that you could approach the library as you would a lengthy book, a chapter or a room at a time. Remember, this extraordinary building was created for people to use and enjoy. Be sure and come and take them up on that.
The library was established as a result of the firm conviction that truth makes us free, and with the object of contributing to international peace and the democratization of Japan as promised in our Constitution. The National Diet Library has two origins. One is the Library of the House of Peers and the House of Representatives, established in 1890. The other is the Imperial Library that began as the Shojakukan, established by the Ministry of Education in 1872. With these dual origins at its base, the National Diet Library was founded in 1948 under the National Diet Library Law. At the beginning, the National Diet Library was temporarily housed in the Akasaka Detached Palace. In 1961, the current NDL building was opened in Nagata-cho, Tokyo. In May 2000, the International Library of Children's Literature was partly opened using refurbished old building of the former Ueno Library, a branch of the NDL. It was fully opened in May 2002. The Kansai-kan of the National Diet Library was opened in October 2002. There are two stacks in the Tokyo Main Library. One, with the storage capacity of 4.5 million volumes, is at the center of the main building. The other, with a storage capacity of 7.5 million publications, is in the basement of the annex. The Kansai-kan currently has a capacity of 6 million volumes and will be expanded to have space for up to 20 million volumes in the future. There are various special materials rooms within the NDL. Visitors can find reference books and special collections according to their area of interest. Foreign periodicals, science and technology materials, Japanese doctoral dissertations, and materials related to Asia are all stored at the Kansai-kan. Books for children and other related materials are available at the International Library of Children's Literature. It is also important to develop interlibrary cooperation. The NDL provides loan, copying, and reference services upon request from libraries throughout the country. The NDL operates a National Union Catalog Network in cooperation with public libraries in Japan. Anyone can access catalogs such as Union Catalog Database of newspapers and children's literature from the NDL Search. To support the activities of both domestic and foreign libraries, we research and study library and information science and provide training programs for library employees. The NDL also produces recorded academic literatures and provides such audio materials to the visually handicapped on the Internet. The NDL also hosts meetings with staff from other libraries throughout Japan, mutual visit programs with overseas national libraries, open lectures by invited foreigners, and international Because of the rapid development of the information network, the means of disseminating information throughout society have undergone numerous changes. To deal with the changes in this environment, the NDL is making great efforts to provide information on the Internet and develop the projects of digital library. To preserve the NDL collections, the NDL is digitizing them. The materials that have cleared copyright issues are available on the Internet. In these ways, the NDL continues to press on with providing new services to meet the changing environment.
My name is Carolina, and I'm a librarian here at the Toronto Reference Library, but specifically in the Business Science and Technology department. One of the main roles in this department is the reference desk. We spend about half of the day at the desk. We have customers who come up to us and basically are looking for information, and I'm there to help them find it, whether it's on one of our shelves or we use our databases. And we have these really cool moving shelves. So if you push this button, the shelves will move over so that you can access the material. On the 5th floor, we have the Marilyn and Charles Bailey Special Collections Center. Here we house all our archival material. Everybody's welcome to browse the collection and sit and read the material in this awesome, cool, round space. We also have the Sherlock Holmes room, where we have material only on Sherlock Holmes.
My name is Beverly Bennett, and I'm a senior library assistant at the Toronto Reference Library. One of the things that I'm responsible for is making sure that things are shelved properly for all the departments. What I really like is trying to find material when people come in and they don't quite have the right information, so then it's sort of like detective work, because then you have to hunt around and try to find the material that they're looking for.
The Royal Library in Copenhagen, Denmark is the National Library of Denmark, and the University Library of the University of Copenhagen. The Royal Library has 5 sites. The main library at Slotsholmen, Copenhagen Harbour, covering all subjects. And special collections, one at Norau, Faculty Library of Natural and Health Sciences, one at Gothersgade, Central Copenhagen, Faculty Library of Social Sciences, one at a major Faculty Library of Humanities, and one in Studiestræde, Central Copenhagen, the Faculty of Law Library. The National Library of Denmark and Copenhagen University Library. In 2008, the Danish Folklore Archive was merged with the Royal Library. Open to anyone above the age of 18 with a genuine need to use the collections. Special rules apply for use of rare and valuable items. The Royal Library acquires Danish books through legal deposit. The holdings include an almost complete collection of all Danish printed books back from 1482. In 2006, legal deposit was extended to electronic publications, and now the library harvests for electronic copies of the Danish Internet each year. The library also holds a large and significant collection of old foreign scholarly and scientific literature, including precious books of high value and of importance for book history, including the Gutenberg Bible.